You can't go wrong with Now It's Dark.
Hey everybody, welcome to Now It's Dark. I'm Jim. I just watched the movie called Ouija Castle. This movie is also known by Sleeping Beauty Massacre. When it went to streaming and I watched it on Prime Video for $4.99, they changed the name to Ouija Castle. Ouija board is in the movie. It does have part of the story, so I guess that's why they changed it to the popular non copywritten word Ouija and added the castle. There are some castle external shots in the beautiful United Kingdom where they can find these castles and easily do period pieces, which this is. This does not take place in modern times. It's a 2024 film, but it's set back in the olden days. The movie revolves around Princess Talia's life is cast into shambles after her father's death. Queen Velma casts her into a never-ending sleep to take over the kingdom, but her actions unravel an array of consequences. Directed by Louisa Warren, written by Jasmine Ebony Thomas. Princess Talia, also known as Sleeping Beauty, was played by Laura Hristova, and in the movie she's clearly wearing a wig, but it's a beautiful golden long hair wig, and she's a beautiful young woman with a pale complexion and supple skin, and she has her attention set on Prince Edison, and he likewise to her. He is played by Benedict Clark, and so there's like a blossoming love uh, relationship going on with those two. But Queen Velma has a different plan. She would like her daughter, Sophia, to get with the prince. So, how do they go about doing that? Well, they have to take uh, some drastic actions, and they take Talia kind of under false pretenses into their home. Um, Velma is kind of in disguise, similarly to like in Snow White when the evil queen kind of did the black wardrobe and offered an apple. That scene is kind of like in this. Um, and yeah, so during the altercation interaction between their Talia gets pricked by the pin needle on the spinning wheel and becomes Sleeping Beauty. And then we fast forward 8 months, and Talia is, she's in a coma, so um, she's not a very active part, but we start getting more of the background and things like that. We find out that Prince Edison's mother, Queen Primrose, played by Charlotte Jackson Coleman, is eager for him to marry because the king has died. And Prince Edison is, going to be prince or king, and needs to have a family and, all that stuff that mothers want for their sons. Um, so, yeah, Velma takes some drastic action because the prince is still kind of waiting out for Sleeping Beauty to wake up. The queen is pushing uh, Prince Edison towards Sophia as well because she's a viable option and she has good breeding legs, I suppose. I don't know. Um, but Velma decides to escalate the situation for Prince Edison by killing off Queen Primrose in a pretty violent fashion. And Queen Velma, she's pretty ruthless. She's pretty aggressive, and Sophia is not too far behind her. This movie is very similar to the two Cinderella movies that came out earlier this year, and where they established like that evil stepmother, and that would kind of be the Velma character in this. And it's just really a lot of like evil behind the scenes violence and things. Practical effects, it's all good. Um, it just takes a while to get to some of these scenes. Um, Velma is just really nasty to everybody. And so while, Sleeping Beauty is in her slumber, there's a character named Leland. He's kind of like the servant of the house. He's played by Adam Barnett. Apparently, he has been inappropriately having adult relations with the Sleeping Beauty, and she becomes pregnant. And everyone just assumes that the baby, which they referred to as babies, were Prince Edison's. And at one point, a scene happens, and I won't spoil it, although I'm really relatively spoiling this movie, but it's not really hard to follow. There's not a whole lot of plot going on here. Sleeping Beauty wakes up. The prince has already somewhat committed himself to Sophia. And so there's like this love triangle thing going on, creating more angsty tension between Sophia and Sleeping Beauty, and the prince is caught in the middle. And now there's babies involved, and everyone assumes that it's Prince Edison, except for another servant, maid, or whatever, house mistress, seamstress, whatever she was. She knows the secret, and she spills the tea with another one of the maids, who the maid then tells Queen Velma, and Velma finds that very intriguing. So Velma spills the tea with Sophia. Some stuff goes on. They confront Sleeping Beauty um, while she's having the babies. And who's delivering the babies but Velma and Sophia? And it is a really gruesome endeavor. Let's just say um, you don't hear the babies crying because stuff goes on, man. That's just really, really nasty. And they handle things pretty appropriately, and they go so far as to cut Sleeping Beauty's face right off. And it's pretty gruesome. And while Sleeping Beauty is just laying on the floor of her room, after all of this stuff going on, she reaches under the bed and pulls out a Ouija board that looks as though it was made of human flesh, and particularly a face. And then stuff really starts to amp up. It takes a good hour plus for things to get to that point. There are like some gory kills in between. It just seems like Velma's killing everybody. Like, I don't know how it doesn't get noticed that like the king and the queen have been killed. Velma's own husband was a king, and she killed him. Uh, and that and Sleeping Beauty's father. How do they not go noticed as having been killed? I don't know. Got to kind of suspend your stuff for that. Anyways, so now um, Velma and Sophia think that Sleeping Beauty's dead. It escalates. Prince Edison does finally just marry Sophia within just a matter of days. Sleeping Beauty has used the Ouija board and now become kind of semi-possessed or whatever. She's been resurrected, and she's now wearing like this plastic mask. And I do think that that look actually worked really well. She had all that fleshy skin underneath it, and then the mask above it. And she's about to start her revenge tour. And at the wedding reception of Prince Edison, who's now king, and Sophia, she makes a grand entrance, and it really becomes much like both Cinderella movies did, that climactic revenge killing spree. In this movie, there was nobody safe, and it didn't matter if they were just party goers, guests to the event, to the reception. They never had a scene in the movie before this. She kills everybody. It was very reminiscent of the Carrie prom gymnasium cafeteria scene where she just kills everybody or tries to. People can't get out, and there are all the scenes of people trying to bang on all the doors around the whole room trying to get out. It's a fun scene for sure. She gets pretty brutal with a couple of the kills, and then she goes after Velma and Sophia, and even Prince Edison. So like nobody is safe. And yeah, then we have a very kind of peaceful ending with Sleeping Beauty wearing a crown by the fireplace, and she gets to live happily ever after, I suppose, but not very many other people did. This is just an okay film. It was fun for what it was worth. Um, my internet did go off for a short time during the middle of this movie, so I did end up having an extended break um, from probably about the 1 hour mark until the last 36 minutes. So like at that like hour break, I had a little gap of time, which was really good because that last 36 minutes is way better than the rest of the movie. So I'm glad that I did finish it off. I did kind of consider like, do I care about watching the rest? But I do like these horror adaptations of all these old stories, so I'm not burnt out yet of them, and I'll keep watching them for now. Let me know in the comments down below if you have watched this or what your thoughts are about horror adaptations of all of these classic uh, folk stories and children's tales.